Greetings, loved ones. Today we're going to talk about trauma, treatments, and controversies. Help us get these messages out. Please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit the like button and the notification bell, and please share these messages with others because you could save a life. So let's begin by talking about treatment for trauma. Left unaddressed or untreated, trauma can undermine relationships and wreak havoc on personal and professional lives. There are multiple avenues of treatment available for people experiencing from short or long-term trauma symptoms. Lifestyle changes are an early treatment option to consider. Eating healthy, exercising, avoiding alcohol and drugs, getting enough sleep, seeing loved ones, and emphasizing self-care can help relieve trauma symptoms. Psychotherapy can help a person build resilience, develop coping skills, and address unresolved feelings that are keeping them stuck. Exposure therapy and cognitive reappraisal therapy are two of the more reliable treatments for trauma and PTSD. Trauma-informed care treats the whole person, recognizes past trauma, and the maladaptive coping mechanisms that the individual may have adopted to survive their distressing experience. Trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy is frequently used to address the destructive effects of early trauma, proving particularly helpful to youth with PTSD and mood disorders resulting from abuse, violence, and unresolved grief. Then there's the controversial psychedelic-assisted psychotherapy with MDMA, like ecstasy or Molly. It is a promising form of treatment for deep-seated trauma. Under a therapist's supervision and support, PTSD patients are given MDMA to help them talk in depth about disturbing traumatic experiences and learn to control their reactivity. The MDMA appears to speed up the therapeutic process for some patients. Then there's ketamine, called Special K. That may also be used to expedite recovery. It is injected under a therapist's supervision prior to a talk therapy session, and research has shown it to be effective. So there's controversies about trauma. There are many myths about trauma that impede the understanding and care. For example, there is a popular assumption that all childhoods are traumatic, which causes people to mistake ordinary hardship and distress for genuine trauma. While this view of trauma may seem initially validating of a difficult experience, it can quickly lead individuals to question their own experiences growing up and the adequacy of their caretakers. Another common misconception about trauma is that it will destroy your life forever. Some people who experience trauma assume the identity of a victim, expecting the world to harm them and seeing slights where they don't exist. This tendency has helped to create a culture of victimhood that does more harm than good by ignoring people's capacity for growth through challenge. Letting go of the victim label can enable people to see themselves instead as survivors, allowing them to grow and feel optimistic about the future. It is generally assumed that talking about negative emotions and experiences leads to healing. However, with traumatic events, especially large-scale disasters or wars that impact thousands of people, data show that rehashing painful memories can be dangerous. As a result, treatments such as psychological debriefing are best deployed carefully and on a case-by-case basis. Everyone's journey through trauma will be different. Remember, ACE is adverse childhood experiences, and with 62% of U.S. adults having at least one ACE and 25% of U.S. adults having 3 or more ACEs, the question is not if you will encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is, what will you do when you do encounter them? You are called, we are all called to be champions for justice. And those who suffer violence, they need to know that those who love them and those who don't even know them will step out and reach out to give them the help they need before it's too late. Help us get these messages out. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell. If you are a victim of violence, listen to me. You are valued. You are loved. You are intelligent. And believe me, you are worthy. God does not want you to suffer violence. He wants you to live free from violence in peace and tranquility. And I want you to know that there is a way out. It is not your fault. Abuse is not love. And more than anything, I want you to know that you are not alone. If you're a victim of violence, reach out to someone today. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation, call 911 for help. If you know of somebody who is suffering violence, report it to the authorities. In our next episode, we will talk about the different types of trauma. And until then, God bless you.